Welcome to This Explainer. We're going to completely shift your paradigm about how you experience and understand music today. If you've always thought music is just, I don't know, a pleasant collection of sounds played in a sequence, well, you are about to see it in a completely new light.
Think about the very last time a song gave you a sudden rush of joy. Or maybe it was a bittersweet sadness, right? I want you to ask yourself, what is actually causing that feeling? Is it just one single note hitting your eardrum? Not quite. Here is the absolute core revelation we're exploring today. Music is not a collection of static sounds. It's movement. Notes aren't these fixed, dead objects sitting on a page. They're events in a journey. And the emotional weight, that gut feeling you get, it literally lives in the physical motion between them. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the secret of motion, driving around the tonal town, the 3 layers of movement, tension and resolution, form, and finally, learning to know the town. Section 1, the secret is motion. Instead of seeing a note as a fixed point, you really have to start thinking of it as a moving object. The emotional meaning of any given musical moment is entirely about where a note just came from and where it's desperately trying to go. It's that relationship, that morphing from one state to the next, that actually carries the emotion. Section 2, driving around the tonal town. To really nail this idea down, we're going to use an analogy throughout this explainer, driving your car around a town. Think of it like this. A beginner hears notes kind of like a stressed-out stranger in a brand new city following GPS. Every turn is just a strict instruction, right? There's no sense of the big picture. But an experienced musician, they inhabit that tonal landscape like a local. They just inherently know where home is. They don't need to stare at the map because they literally feel the spatial relationships between the streets. And the cool thing is, knowing the town inside and out doesn't box you in. It actually liberates you. A local can take a scenic route or deliberately make a wrong turn just for the fun of seeing something new. By internalizing this tonal landscape, you are totally free to choose your own path and feel the relationships between all these different musical places. Section 3, 3 layers of movement. So, these 3 layers act as our navigational tools. First up is melody. This is the most obvious movement, basically the tune you find yourself humming in the shower. It traces a path through pitch. A smooth step feels like, just walking next door. A skip adds a little spring to your step. But a massive leap? That creates sudden physical drama and acceleration. Think of that huge opening octave jump in Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That massive leap literally sounds like pure yearning. Next, we have harmony. Now, if melody is moving between individual houses, harmony is the specific neighborhood we're driving through. Some of them feel super stable, like quiet resting places, while others are full of restless tension. The crucial thing to remember here is that every single chord you land on immediately becomes a brand new departure point. A trained ear can actually feel this web of possible destinations pulling them in all these different directions, even before the music moves. The third layer is rhythm. Look, rhythm isn't just doing math in your head. It's the feel of the road beneath your tires. A steady beat is a nice, smooth highway. But when you add deliberate bumps in the road, what musicians call syncopation, it physically throws us off balance in the absolute best way possible. You actually feel it in your shoulders and your hips. But, music steps beyond just the driving analogy, too. While a lot of music is directional, like goal-oriented driving toward a specific destination, there's also transformational movement. Imagine a lava lamp. It slowly morphs and changes shape without any real destination in mind. Or think of one of those hanging art mobiles, constantly rebalancing itself as one piece moves against another. That's exactly what continuous counterpoint and shifting harmonies feel like. The really important takeaway here is that melody, harmony, and rhythm never, ever operate alone. They're continuously interacting. A big melodic leap feels entirely different if it lands on a nice stable chord versus a tense, clashing one. They color each other, kind of like light refracting through a moving river. And that's exactly why you can listen to a song 100 times and it can still reveal something completely new. Section 4, tension, suspension, and resolution. Let's look at the actual physical forces that push and pull us on this journey. Harmonic tension isn't just some abstract theory. It is a physical experience. It's caused by clashing sound waves, creating acoustic turbulence that literally makes you hold your breath or lean forward in your seat. And it comes in degrees. Mild tension just keeps the music strolling along. Moderate gives you this urgent need to resolve. and intense tension, that creates maximum dramatic effect, almost to the point of physical discomfort.
One of the absolute most powerful emotional tools in all of music is suspension. It's that incredibly satisfying, almost there feeling. It perfectly simulates the feeling of driving down your street, seeing your house, but hitting a construction roadblock. You have the preparation, then the held-over note that clashes with the new chord, that's the suspension, and finally, the glorious resolution when that stubborn note steps down into a natural fit. Ah, it's so satisfying.
Ultimately, all this tension exists purely for the payoff, the moment of resolution. Arriving home just feels so much better when the journey was a little bit tough, right? And the timing of these arrivals, perfect, imperfect, or deceptive cadences, determines exactly how satisfying it feels. A perfect cadence is like pulling smoothly into your driveway and shutting off the engine. But a deceptive cadence? That's when you think you're pulling into your driveway but suddenly end up parked on your neighbor's lawn. It's an amazing emotional surprise.
Section 5. Form, the whole journey. Zooming out from those moment-to-moment choices, we really have to look at how these elements combine to create the architecture of an entire piece. There's this fantastic quote from our source material: "Repetition in music is never merely repetition. The return is weighted with the journey." When a familiar theme comes back at the end of a song, after a ton of contrast and harmonic detours, it isn't just repeating, it's a recognition. It carries the heavy memory of everything that happened in between. You aren't just hearing a melody again, you're arriving home after an adventure.
And this is exactly how a practiced ear experiences form architecturally. Instead of just hearing one sequential moment after another, you start feeling the context of the entire shape. That same chord that sounded like a question mark at the beginning of the song, it sounds like the ultimate answer at the end, purely because of the journey it took to get there. Finally, Section 6, learning to know the town.
So, how do we take all this theory and turn it into practical action? Well, to truly become a local in the tonal town, you gotta challenge yourself. The next time you listen, notice what you expect to happen, not just what is actually happening. Try to feel the gravitational pull of a leading tone right before it resolves. Identify the build-up tension preceding a really moving moment. And hey, if you play an instrument, keep the musical destination in your ear while your fingers do the work. Don't just type out the notes, drive the car.
I want to leave you with this provocative question to carry with you the very next time you put on a song you love. Are you just hearing a sequence of sounds passing by? Or are you actively navigating a living, breathing landscape? I promise, once you start listening for the motion, the paths not taken, and the pull of the destination, you will literally never hear music the same way again. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and enjoy the ride.